Hello and good morning. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with SamPaul. We're here chilling at the Half Cup Cafe on Sir Donald Bradman Drive in Adelaide. And today my guest is a man that I've only known a short while, but he's got some incredible knowledge in his specialist space of marketing. And that was right, wasn't it?
Yeah, marketing. we'll stay generic.
All right. I do know he's got some great insight into Google, so if that's something that you need to know about, this is probably going to be a good conversation to watch. I'd like to welcome to the show Eric.
Thanks a lot.
How are you going?
Yeah, great to see you again.
Likewise, and thanks for the coffee.
Yeah, no probs. Next one's on you.
So, obviously, I'm aware that a lot of what you do is in an online space of marketing. Do you want to maybe give us a little bit of just a brief overview of the, in simple terms? Don't go over our head.
No jargon. I'll keep it very simple. So, in a nutshell, I help local service-based businesses increase their exposure. It's not always online, but predominantly it starts online.
Yep.
And that might materialize to more foot traffic in your store, or more leads to your website, or more clicks to your online assets.
Yep.
So in a nutshell, it's getting that exposure out and resulting in more traffic, more consults, more clients, more customers to your business.
And hopefully more revenue.
Well, that's it. That's what we all hope for, right, in our businesses.
I must admit, you after seeing you speak recently at the networking meeting where we met, I've actually set up now a Google page for my business.
Brilliant. Oh.
So I'm well on my way.
I'm glad to hear it.
Took your advice.
I also saw, just after that, that one of the ladies who owns a cleaning company, she also did the same. She's been in business for over 10 years, and then recently I saw on her Instagram that she's set up her profile, and now she's asking for reviews. So it's good to see that people are taking action and implementing some of these things that are not, they're not very technical, and all businesses should really invest the time to learn about these things that can aid their business. Absolutely.
I guess for some people, like some of the people that we've met through the networking that have maybe been in business for a little bit longer than some of the newer businesses, some of this kind of Google review stuff and things like that, the online space can be a little bit daunting because it's not the way they're used to doing business necessarily. What sort of advice would you give to someone maybe that maybe is dragging their heels to kind of take up that challenge of setting up a Google business page?
I totally hear what you're saying, and it is very common. I meet a lot of business owners that have been in business for years, and they're asking me what a Google business profile is. So it's common. If your business is doing well, I guess it might be a bit of complacency as well. If your business is doing well, you kind of don't really care too much about the other things, but your competitors are. So
absolutely,
if you can decide to keep your head in the sand, and when things start taking a bit of a dip, that's when people start scurrying and thinking how they can optimize their website, optimize their Google business profile. So I guess the thing is to try and stay ahead and try and what can you do?
Oh, no.
We're near an airport. That's going to happen, right? I guess you just got to keep on top of your game. Don't just think that your business can survive on referrals or people, on location. You've always got to be thinking next step. So, it's not super techy. A lot of this stuff's on YouTube. It's online. You can quickly learn about how you can do these things online. But for those that don't really want to invest that time, they have people like myself who are happy to walk them through those steps or do it for them. So there's options.
So I guess really a Google business pro is a little bit like insurance. It's something you should have before you need it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but even before you have a website, really, because a lot of businesses, their websites don't attract much traffic or inquiries. So the Google business profile is really the platform that people are going to find before their website.
Absolutely.
So if we just, like, for example, we're here at Half Cut. if I'm around the corner, I look for a cafe near me, and I see Half Cup, I see their great reviews, I see that they're close, I'm going to click and just to see how quick it is to get there. I'm not even going to go to their website. So your website is usually the next step for local businesses anyway. So I think for a lot of businesses, a Google Business Profile is even more important. You don't need a website to have a Google Business Profile.
Absolutely. I'd probably agree with that. I think there was a time when websites were the go-to space when you wanted to find out about a business. But these days, like you said, when you type the business name in a Google search or whatever search engine you use, the first thing that kind of comes up is often, their online presence as opposed to their actual website.
Yeah, that's right. Most local businesses, most of their websites don't rank.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're more of an online brochure rather than they're not really bringing in leads for a lot of businesses, depending on the industries as well. So for local, your local plumber, for instance, he should be ranking, at least within a 5 to 10k radius. But
absolutely.
Again, if they're busy getting referrals, that's the last thing they care about.
Yeah, so. Understandable. But then you don't want to wait till you have to scurry to.
Well, that's right. But that's a lot of businesses. You get complacent. When things are busy, you stop working on yourself because you're so busy depending on your type of. If you're a sole trader, you're busy doing the job. You don't really think about taking time out to improve yourself and improve your business because you're stuck in the job.
Yeah. I should probably take a quick moment just to say, because I have to say your business name is probably one of the coolest and most to the point business names I've come across. Like, honestly, if you're going to go to someone who is going to help you with your marketing, you want to know that they know their shit. Mm-hmm. And I think your business name says that better than probably nearly any business name I've come across. His business is called With Eric's Help. Like, if there's a more succinct business name that says exactly what he does, let me know. But that.
And my name's Eric, if you didn't.
I introduced you already. But yeah, I just when I saw your business card, I was just like, oh my god, that's genius. I believe, if I remember correctly, I don't want to take away from you, but I believe you said a friend of yours sort of recommended it.
Right. That's
how the best ideas come about. They don't just come from one thing. They're kind of a combination, like a group effort, if you will.
Yeah, that's it. And like I said, when I was telling you how the name came about, at the time I was just helping friends that had businesses. I didn't really have any intention of starting a business at the time, So one of my friends saw that I was helping loads of people, and he just said, you're going to start a business called With Eric's Help. And at the time I just laughed it off, and here we are years down the line, and that's my business, and that's how it came about. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's I'm glad it fits what that's my ethos to help people. So
absolutely.
That's how it came about.
No, but it's genius. Let's just call it. I absolutely love it.
I can't claim it, but thanks to Shah, if you ever see this.
Well, he put the idea there, but you saw enough value in it to take it and run with it. So, give yourself some credit.
Yeah. Well, I've got to live up to the name, right? I can't just have a name like that and not be of any help. So that would be pretty embarrassing.
But the other good thing about it, and I'm not suggesting that you want to do this, but is that it lends itself to so many different industries. So if you ever wanted to branch out into other areas, you're not limited. Like, one thing I noticed with some businesses, when you see they got the location in their name, for example, and it kind of limits, what they can do in a sense, because you can't have a, I don't know, say coffee in Richmond, but the cafe is actually in, Marion, because it's well, hang on, why does it say Richmond? And that's not a real business name. I just made that up to illustrate a point. But you know what I mean. So with a name like With Eric's Help, it literally, I mean, you could. Not that you would, but you could literally go do labouring for work for because you're still helping people.
Of course, so it's quite generic, and I didn't want to pigeon.
Generic.
Oh God, dad joke. You must have kids with that joke like that. That's got dad joke written all over it. Gosh.
I think I'm going to need to edit this one a lot today. No,
gotta keep it in. So I wanted to keep it kind of, because at the time I didn't really know where I wanted to take it. And even now I still work with a whole heap of different industries, and they say it's good to niche, and I agree to some extent. Like the example you gave, if a cafe is in Richmond, name your. That's a great, from an SEO perspective, that's a great name, Cafe
Yeah.
Richmond.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If there is a business out there. So perfect. So that's what someone is looking for a cafe in Richmond is probably going to type. So depending on your business, it's good to have the location name in there.
Yeah, so I guess there's
from an SEO perspective.
positive and negative to it.
But yeah, I thought I'd keep it generic. And pun intended, and yeah, not really limit because I didn't really know which industries I wanted to focus on.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's working well.
Here's a bit of a left field kind of question for you. What did you want to do when you were in high school? Like, I don't know about you, but I got, we got hammered in high school about what career path we wanted to take.
Yeah.
And I have to say that what I do now, in every aspect of my life, is nowhere near what my path from high school was.
Yeah.
But what about yourself? Like, what do you have your eye on when you were coming up out of school?
Well, it was very far-fetched at the time, but I wanted to be a football player.
Okay.
Soccer for Aussie viewers. So I wanted to be a soccer player. But I used to wear the biggest glasses back at school and through my early teens, so I knew that was never going to happen. So after that, I was pushed to just follow my older brother's footsteps in business, study business.
Okay.
And who knows where that will end you up, where that will take you. So yeah, I studied business and information systems way back. And yeah, I never really had an ideal career or job that I thought, I really want to do that. I just knew I wanted to have a stable job, and I guess that's what you get drummed into you at an early age. Get a job, get a house, start family, the usual generic path.
Yeah.
But yeah, never really had an ideal job in mind, so just went with the flow. And
it's kind of interesting though, you mentioned you wanted to have a stable job, and yet you chose a path of self-employment. Like, I'm not saying that self-employment can't be stable. I mean, clearly you're making it work, and many people do, but it also, from someone perspective like myself, who's also trying to follow that kind of self-employment path as well, it isn't always the most stable, particularly in the early days.
Well, that's it.
But I guess you got that drive there, so it's kind of like you make it work.
Yeah, well, I've been in employment most of my life. I've had my business since 2017, but for a lot of that it was a side business, and I had a 9-to-5, and I was always trying to figure out how to make my side business my main business, which is what I did, over a couple of years ago, which is great. But yeah, that's what I was drummed into me at an early age. Just get a stable job, and that's what we're all led to believe is success. But look around, who's happy doing that? Everyone,
no, that's right.
The majority of people don't like the job that they're in. So
absolutely,
you know what I mean. So
I think
not try and make that transition to follow something that you love, and I love what I do. So
exactly,
it's trying to make that step, But I've been lucky in terms of, invested in property, had a bit more security to make those steps. Whereas someone who's looking to make a career change with a family, with a mortgage and bills, etc., it's harder to make that jump.
Yeah, absolutely. I just had a thought and it's gone in one ear out the other. No, that's right. What would be one of your, like, obviously, you probably see numbers wise, you see the change that what you can provide offers a business. So like, maybe the numbers are here, and after a bit of help with you with the what you do with the marketing help. And so with Eric's help, nice. You can sort of see metrically the improvement. What would be one of the biggest improvements that you've seen in the business? Like, have you seen like some really dramatic changes, or is it more a gentle general improvement, so to speak?
Monument, I wouldn't say. Over time, it would be seen as monumental. Like one business that I've helped, for instance, was like an e-commerce beauty brand. They started doing SEO, and we saw their sales nearly double in 6 months.
Yeah, right.
As a result of ranking higher for certain keywords. But the majority have been incremental because I never offer a silver bullet type of remedy. You know what I mean? I would love to say I do, but sorry, it's like when businesses ask, "Oh, how long is it going to take?" You know, and sorry, it depends.
Yeah,
you know?
I guess there's a lot of factors that come into play, aren't there?
That's right. So
I mean, they might have really shit service.
Well, that's right, but I would always vet that beforehand. Generally, I don't want to work with bad businesses or businesses that are really in the mire that need a transformation. I'm not going to claim to be that guy to transform a bad business into a good business.
So there is a vetting process.
Of course, it's got to be a good fit. You know, because I can only do so much. I've just got a very small team.
Yep.
I don't profess to be a miracle worker like a lot of marketing agencies, or you know what I mean. There's so many out there that say they're going to give you the. I keep things real. With businesses, I try and be as honest as I can, which is what businesses want. Who wants to be promised the world and then when that time comes, there's you're hearing the birds chirping. That's it.
Fair call. I just wanted to kind of end with what would be if there was one silver bullet? No, one piece of advice that you would put out there, just like as maybe the best first step for anyone that was watching this and going, I could probably use some help with my business. What would be and I'm going to suggest maybe that call you would be the best first step.
Have a chat. And
but what's the best way to reach you? You've got obviously phone, but you've got social
I'm on
media.
Instagram with Eric's Help on Instagram, Facebook. They're the two main. LinkedIn. Just find my name on LinkedIn or my website with ericshelp.com. So I'm easily reachable. I'm the only with Eric's Help out there. So
I just realised I answered the question myself though.
That's okay.
I was asking for your advice, and then I realised calling you is probably the best first step they could make.
Or anyone you feel. It doesn't always have to be me. I don't. Again, like I said, I don't profess to be the expert in every industry. Yeah. But speak to someone that's trusted, someone that has got skin in the game, someone that's been, that's had previous results. If you're in a specific industry, try and find someone relative to that industry. I'm not trying to be the go-to guy for everyone.
No, that's right.
So it really depends on your industry. I've been helping a lot of health specialists, so naturopaths, hypnotherapists, people in the wellness space. So that's some of the kind of industries that I've been helping recently.
Yep.
But always just speak to a professional to get that kind of insight, because you've got to know which ladder you want to climb. You can't just start climbing. Everyone's saying, be here, be on Instagram, be on LinkedIn, be here. You can't be everywhere at a certain level. You know what I mean? Find out where your clients or customers are.
Yeah. I guess the more of those things you start using, the less attention each one's going to get.
Of course, and you're not going to be great everywhere. If you're going to commit to YouTube, you're not going to be great on Reels or on Instagram. You probably, it depends. If you've got an editing team, great. Or if you're a professional like yourself who can chop up and edit and you can make it work for every platform, then great. But again, you've only got a certain amount of hours in a day.
I appreciate the compliment, but I mean, I definitely know that I have strengths in some spaces more than others. I think probably Facebook would be my strength. Yeah. But
you post regularly. You're there. I see you every day. So hopefully that does what you want it to be doing for your business and brand. That's the main thing.
I mean, I probably think I need to book a call with you, to be honest. I'm sure I could always. We could always. I think everyone could always use help, and
that's it. Yeah, we all you want to get help with getting fit. You see a personal trainer or you see a nutritionist. You take those steps. A lot of businesses just kind of keep doing the same thing over and over and wondering why things don't change. Right? So
perfect definition of insanity.
That's right.
Doing the same thing, expecting a different result.
Yeah, there's enough help out there. It's just knowing where to go and then taking the steps after that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Eric. It's been a great insight to what you do and how you can help other small businesses potentially. Wish you well, and it's been a great insight into your world.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Great to chat. Watch your hand.
Awesome, man.
Awesome.
Right,
Thanks
thank
a lot
you for watching.